Late Night Health continues. We're going to stay on the topic of oral health with a specialist. Her name is Sabrina Magrid-Katz. I hope I got middle hyphenate correct or close. Dr. Katz is based in Westchester, New York, and we welcome her to the show. We're going to talk about kids who suffer from sleep disorders as well as adults. Dr. Katz, do a lot of kids have sleep problems that can be solved with advanced dental techniques?
Yes, unfortunately, more kids than you would imagine do suffer from sleep disorders. And it's a growing problem that we're just starting to realize, which is wonderful for these kids.
Is the problem because our kids are couch potatoes and have very strong thumbs and are not exercising as much as they used to?
Well, of course, that doesn't help. A lot of these kids do have underlying problems with breathing, and especially breathing while they're sleeping. So, of course, the sedentary lifestyle and the excess weight will aid in causing those problems. But as a dental professional, I'm always looking at their teeth and the tissues in their mouth, and I'm watching how all of that can close in on their airway. So it's not just what their habits and not just what they're doing, it's also the way they're growing, and we can actually help that now.
The way they're growing, their whole body or their mouth?
A bit of both. Particularly their mouth, their jaws, their skeletal arrangement, their teeth, and their soft tissue in the back of their throats. I treat adults, and I've been lecturing for many years to dental societies about screening for and treating adults with sleep apnea. And we know that it's a growing problem that causes other medical conditions and problems later in life.
Heart conditions is one, but
I'm sorry?
I said heart conditions can be one.
Heart conditions, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, reflux, depression, all kinds of things, really big medical problems. And what we see is that these patients with, when their bite is off and their teeth are crowded, they've got a large tongue, things like that, we see all of that crowding in on their airway. And the excess weight will crowd in as well. And the sleep apnea actually will make it harder to lose weight, too. So it goes hand in hand. It's a bit of a vicious cycle. But until now, all we could do is find them when they were adults and when they had all these medical problems and treat them, give them a machine or an appliance that they'd have to wear for the rest of their lives.
And do you have ways for kids not to graduate to those devices which make you sound like Darth Vader or sound like Darth Vader, though they've gotten better, I understand, and at the same time take people off of those awful machines?
Yes. Well, adults, as an alternative, if they can't wear a machine, if they're not a candidate, if they don't feel like they can wear it, or if they're not severe enough, we can make night guards, or there are oral appliances that are sort of like a sports guard or a night guard that allow us to bring the jaw forward and open up their airway. And that allows them to be treated. But as soon as they stop wearing it, they're no longer treated. And actually, some say that if you catch an adult under the age of 50 with severe sleep apnea and you treat them effectively, you can extend their life 8 to 10 years because of all these medical problems. But I had no way of dealing with that with a kid before and no way of really treating it. But now we can actually catch kids, say a 5-year-old, and see that they're growing in a direction that will promote that sleep apnea and actually give them a series of night guards. Theirs are softer, they're a little more comfortable, and they help retrain the tongue, or help retrain the muscles, help guide the growth of the jaws and the eruption of their teeth. So not only will they wind up with straight teeth, which is great, and they may never need a retainer, which is fabulous, but we can actually guide their growth so that they're healthier forever, and they may never need treatment in the future because their jaws have grown in a way that their airway is open, which is amazing. So exciting.
Yeah, no, that really is. But at 5 years old, there's just their baby teeth may be falling out and adult teeth are coming in. Is that the ripe age to treat a kid?
That's a perfect time. We can actually treat kids all the way from 3 years of age to 12 years of age with this system. We want to capture their growth spurt, and we can actually guide the teeth as they're erupting into the mouth before they're ever into the mouth. We guide the way the teeth come into the mouth, the way the arches grow, the way their teeth and their whole skeleton, their whole jaw grows, so that the teeth come in straight in the first place. And we don't have to wait till the teeth are in and then try and pull them into a better position. Wow.
Orthodontists must not like you.
You would think. We can actually work with orthodontists. So while a kid in the system may never need braces, which is amazing.
And save thousands of dollars.
Save a lot of money. It's more gentle for the patient. It's more comfortable. It's more natural. They only need to wear it at night and maybe a couple hours during the day, so they're not teased with the braces. They don't have the annoyance of the braces. But we can actually combine it with the orthodontic treatment if needed, so that we can retrain the muscles and allow the orthodontic treatment to hold more long term.
You mentioned a large tongue. How do I measure my tongue?
It's a little hard to do on your own when you're looking in the mirror, just from looking at many of them over time. One of the ways we do it is when you, if you want to look in the mirror right now, if you look in the mirror and stick out your tongue and let it hang, you can see how much of your airway in the back you can see, and that's called the Malampati score, and we use that to detect patients that are at risk.
Interesting. And that's for both kids and adults?
It is. In kids, you often do see larger tonsils. So a lot of kids do get their tonsils and adenoids out, less so than in years past. It's the trend has gone to not taking the tonsils out. But when they do get them taken out, if they're still mouth breathing and their habits aren't corrected, then the tissue can regrow, and the patterns of growth may not change. So while it may help temporarily, or it may only help part of the problem, we like to help correct them ultimately. So we can go hand in hand with many different specialties.
I remember having my tonsils out. I think I was 4 years old. It was the first time I was away from my parents. We had to stay overnight in the hospital. I did. And they gave me ice cream, but they would not give me chocolate.
Okay.
And
I suppose
that's
the caffeine, or
I don't know why they wouldn't give it. Maybe they were out. They gave me something like strawberry, which I love today, but I didn't at the time. Our guest is Sabrina Katz. She's a dentist in Westchester, New York. We're talking about how your child may be suffering from sleep disorders and breathing. Are more kids snoring? Is that a sign that adults, that parents should be looking for with their kids if they snore? I mean, I remember my kids, especially as babies, it was just a beautiful little. But as they grew older, my kids are adults now. They don't make that noise, and it was a gentle sound at the time.
Right. In adults, snoring is a pretty good indicator. If a patient snores, then we often, and especially if they have other problems going on, we often recommend looking a little further into the sleep. For kids, parents often don't report the snoring. The kid may not sound like they're snoring that bad. It's often deemed as cute. But it can be an indicator, but it's not a requirement. So a lot of kids who do have sleep-disordered breathing don't snore. But you may, if you really sit in their room and watch them, you may find that they do snore, or they're breathing, their mouth is hanging open because they're breathing through their mouths, or they're choking or gasping or snorting. You may notice some of these events if you really watch carefully.
But in adults, when you have that hacking, snorting kind of thing, often it's an allergy too. And a decongestant, a natural decongestant, of course, is effective. Some of the
that all speaks to the fact that something is blocking their airway. It may be nasal obstruction. It may be more in the throat, in the back of the throat. If it's a constant thing that's going on, obviously, if you have a cold, actually, if you smoke or drink, it will make the apnea worse. But if it's partially a nasal obstruction or inflammation, and sure, that can help. But the important thing is, even if the noise stops, to make sure that you're still breathing properly, because it's not just the noise we're concerned about, it's the underlying breathing. So if you use one of those over-the-counter snore guards or nasal strips or something like that, if the snoring is a problem and if you have other medical conditions or other things that may point to a problem, it's important to get a sleep study.
And what about, should we be mouth breathers or nose breathers from a dental perspective?
Nose breathers. Mouth breathing can inflame the tissue in the back and can cause the enlarged tonsils. And in kids, it can change the growth patterns of their jaws and the muscle habits so that it actually goes hand in hand and it promotes the sleep disorder.
And the mouth breathing, as you said, can cause some issues, other issues. What are some of those again?
Well, it can change the way they grow, and it can change the muscle habits so that they can't breathe properly. It can cause the tissue in the back of the throat to be more inflamed, which will block the airway more, which will cause them not to breathe properly. So mouth breathing really is a problem. You actually see kids that had a lot of allergies as a young child, their faces often look different because they've grown to accommodate that.
You mean their faces get bigger?
Their faces, the relationship of their jaws and their faces will be evidence of the fact that they were not breathing through their mouth when they were young.
And last but not least, as we're wrapping up here, crowded teeth. I mean, I had braces when I was a kid, and for the most part, I think the Dr. Weber's orthodontics worked. Are my teeth fairly straight, Daryl?
I don't know. And
well, I'm looking.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But they
except for that one.
Yeah, the snaggletooth. Right. Everybody in radio has to have a snaggletooth. The crowded mouth, is that something that parents should watch for as well?
Sure. I mean, baby teeth should not have any crowding. They actually should have spacing. So in baby teeth, we want to see spacing to know that we'll have enough room for the big teeth when they come in. With this system, we can actually guide the teeth into the correct position so there's never crowding, and the teeth have never been any other place to remember, so there's no regression.
Wow.
You find a lot of patients that have had braces.
That music is saying
crooked again later in life.
Got it. That music is saying we have to move on. We have a website on our website, and you will be able to learn more about Dr. Katz. Just go to latenighthealth.com. Doctor, thank you very much, and we're going to have you come back in a month or so, month and a half, and we'll talk about working with hearing disabled. All right, more coming up. On Late Night Health. Don't go away. Robert Clancy's next.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. When your life's problems seem to rise and fall like the waves on a stormy ocean, let hope become your life raft and faith become your paddle. Every sea touches a calm shoreline somewhere in the world, and eventually this storm that you're going through will pass too. Never allow negative circumstances to define you. Whatever happens to you in life may be fated, and it certainly can't be changed after the fact. What you can change is how you feel about it and how you're going to let it affect you. Today is a brand new day, and as with any gift, Share it with love and gratitude.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate a lower tax bill. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will fight for you using industry secrets that can stop any IRS actions, eliminate penalties and interest, and reduce your past tax bill so you pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor now for a free IRS audit emergency review.
800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. That's 800-663-5107.